Hi and welcome back to the Productive Plans. Today I'm walking you through the Life Planner, an all-in-one Google Sheets template designed to help you manage your goals, budget, habits, meals, cleaning, family and daily life all in one place. This spreadsheet is linked in the description below, so if you want to follow along or grab your own copy, the link is right there. We're also giving away a free habit tracker in the description to give you a taste of the Life Planner, and the link for that is in the description too, so be sure to grab that while you're there. In this video, I'm going to walk through every tab in the planner, show you how to connect everything together and share a few tips on how to get the most out of it. Let's get started. One quick note before we dive in, you'll notice some of the cells throughout this planner are protected. This is intentional because those cells contain formulas that power the automatic calculations and dashboards within the spreadsheet. If you accidentally click into one of these cells, you'll see a pop-up appear. When this happens, just press exit, and that way you won't risk accidentally changing or breaking any of the formulas. The first tab you'll land on is the Setup tab. This is the control center of the entire planner, so it's worth spending a couple of minutes here before you touch anything else. This is where you can set your currency up here. So at the moment we've got it set to US dollar, and this will update every currency element within the whole planner, including budget, savings, the debt dashboard, everything. You'll also see the emoji pool, and this is a bank of emojis you can use anywhere in the planner to visually tag tasks, moods or categories, and you can feel free to add or remove emojis here to match your own style. Also got task priority levels, so we've currently got very high, medium, low and very low, and these feed into the drop downs you'll see later in the to-do list and calendar. We've got the task status options set here, and again these power drop down menus elsewhere. The category list, we've currently got house, personal and business, but you can add your own. Again, these populate elsewhere. And a person in charge list, and this is useful if you're sharing the planner with your partner, family or team, so you can assign tasks by name. You will almost never need to touch this tab again once you've set it up, but it is the reason the drop down menus everywhere else just work, so it's really worth just spending some time having a look at it. If we move over to the main Life Planner dashboard, welcome to the main dashboard. You can think of this as your home base. It pulls together a snapshot of everything that's happening across the whole planner, such as your goals, budget, upcoming tasks, habit progress, all in one place. This is the tab I'd recommend opening first every time you sit down to plan your week, because it gives you a full picture without having to click through all of the tabs down here. Once you've already populated them, it will pull in to this tab here. So we've got the meals that are set for the day, any deadlines for tasks or to-dos, a overview of your budget status, your goals, habit summary and to-do list summary too. If we move over to the goal tracker, the goal tracker is where you can set your big picture goals, whether that's a fitness goal, savings goal or personal project. You can break each goal into milestones, set target dates and track your progress visually as you go. This tab is great for putting your why front and centre, especially when the day-to-day tasks start to feel disconnected from the bigger picture. So over here you can add your list of goals. So for example here I've put swap coffee for matcha, and this will automatically update this tab cell here, you can scroll down, so this box is one goal, this box is another goal, etc. So you can then add here the goal, your why, any challenges related to this goal, and then the steps to achieve the goal, the due date of that goal, and then you can see that it will update the charts and graphs here, and then you can add a reward for what happens when you achieve this goal. And you can also add a picture to keep you motivated. To do this, just click on the cell, click insert, image and insert image into cell. And you can do this for loads of different goals down here. Again, all linking back to this goal setup table. Moving over to the monthly calendar. The calendar tab gives you a month at a glance view of where you can log your events, appointments and deadlines. It uses the same priority and status tags from the setup tab, so everything stays color coded and consistent across the whole planner. The calendar itself will actually update with budget, goals and tasks that you have inputted into other tabs. So if you put a due date for a certain task in the to-do list tab down here, it will then actually populate into the calendar itself. You can set the date of the calendar and the year by just typing the year in here and then the drop down for the months, and you can then select your start days, either Sunday or Monday. You can then also ask for it to not show you certain things from the legend. All graphs will automatically populate, and you can also add additional deadlines that maybe you haven't got in your goal tracker, budget or to-do list, and then that will then populate over into the calendar automatically. Going over to the budget tab, now we can start to talk about money. The budget tab lets you track income against expenses month by month. You'll enter your categories, plug in your numbers, and it will automatically calculate what's left over. Right next to it is the saving tab where you can set savings goals like emergency funds or a trip and track progress over time. You can see here that it's currently set to dollars, and this is because we set this up in the setup tab. So if I'd set it to euros or pounds, for example, these will all automatically update. You can set your budget period over here. So just by clicking on this cell and double clicking, you can click from the calendar drop down. The income, expenses and bills, debt payments and savings, these sections here will automatically update, so no need to touch these cells. And same with the budget summary, unless you want to add a starting balance at the beginning. What I say just to remember is that you have a section for both expected and real. So if you expected to earn $3,000 but you actually earn $280, then that's the difference between expected and real. So you've got an income section, bills, expenses. For example, for a bill, if you've got a certain due date for that bill, just again click into it and it will open the calendar. You can set the budget amount for that bill, and then the real amount is actually calculated below. So again, subscriptions, debt, savings, and then to actually add into onto the transactions of what's really been spent, you will click down onto the drop down and it will show you. So if you did salary, it would then update as income, for example. These charts and graphs are automated, and so is this table. Where does your money go? It will show you the percentage breakdown of where you're spending your money, and a graph alongside, and another table of when you spend your money during the month, which is quite useful. That's all automated. Continuing on the money conversation, we can move over into the savings tab. This is where you can set saving goals like emergency trips or funds, and you can track your progress towards it. So you can add the goal name of your saving here, the amount, monthly goal, and how much you started with. All of these up here will automatically update. And you can see I've got an emergency fund here. So if I change that to a student loan, that will automatically update here. You can also indicate when you are contributing to each of these goals. So your goals will update here and you can click on them and it will then add to your amount saved here and update all of the charts. We quickly move over to the debt dashboard. The debt dashboard is built for anyone working on paying down debt, including credit cards, loans, and so on. You can log each balance and payment, and the dashboard gives you a clear visual of your progress as those numbers come down. So you will add the debt name here, the balance, the interest rate of that debt, your minimum payment per month. The interest owed will automatically calculate, and so will the months left. Your debt overview can be seen in this column here, and then your individual debt repayments will update along here. So the first one here is credit card. So here's the credit card, and it will show you the payments, interest and balance. All of this section, you don't need to touch this. This will automatically update for you as long as you input into this table down here. If we move over into the habit tracker, the habit tracker lets you simply list your habits down the side, check them off day by day, and watch your consistency build visually across the month. So you can set the year and date of the month of the habits that you're tracking. All of this section will automatically update all of this up here, depending on this table here. So these are the goals. So you can write out whatever goals you want, and then you will tick off throughout the month when you have done that habit. So if I said the prep clothes habit, I actually did it every day of the month, sorry. You can see that the charts above are automatically updating, and so is the progress table here. You can also track weekly habits down here and the progress for those too. The graph up here will update depending on the amount of habits you have checked off that week. Let's start looking at the task list. To-do list tab is where your daily and weekly tasks live. This is where those setup tab drop downs really shine. You can assign a priority, a status, a category, and even a person in charge of each task, and then sort or filter however you need. It will automatically update with today's date and the progress of the task completed and how many tasks you have due that day. So all you have to do is type the task name, set the status, add a due date. So for example, this date was actually 4 days ago at the time of recording, so it will show a -4. So I'm -4 overdue, 4 days overdue. You can then set priority, the category, the person in charge of that task, and any notes about that. And once you've completed it, you can just check it off there and it will update on the progress chart. Moving over into the meal planner. The meal planner setup tab is the first tab you'll need to use before setting up the meal planner and grocery list tabs. This is where you can add the ingredients categories of the types of ingredients you'll use within the recipes, any units that you'll use, and the different recipes. So you've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And by writing these in this table here, you'll be able to choose from them in the meal planner tab here. By clicking into here, you can see you are able to set a start date of the week you're planning your meals. So if I, for example, set it to start today, which is the 3rd of August, it will then update the days and the dates along here. You then got the breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks rows where you can assign which meals you want to have that day. So we've got all of these, which again have linked over from this column here. And you can do that for all the days and all the meals. you can then decide and add which ingredients you will need to buy for that day. So if you're having a Greek yogurt bowl, you'll need Greek yogurt, and you can add the quantity and the unit of that. This is really important because it actually copies over into the grocery list tab. Once your week is planned, you are able to build your shopping list right alongside it where nothing gets forgotten when you're at the shops. So you can associate a category to your items. So it will copy across all of the items that have been added to the shopping list in the meal planner, and you will assign them a category. So apples is produce. So if you go down to the produce section in the grocery list, you'll see apples here. You can then add any additional items you need to buy that maybe weren't in the shopping list on the meal planner. Add the name, the quantity, the unit, and the category, and that will also update in the shopping list. The shopping list is automated, so you've got Greek yogurt, the quantity of that Greek yogurt and the unit, and any notes for that. There are two versions of the weight tracker, one Imperial and one metric, so they're situated right next to each other. So no matter where you're located, you can log your progress in the units that make sense to you. Just use whichever tab matches your preference and ignore or delete the other. You can add a start date to your weight tracker, the participants of the weights that you're tracking, their height. So in this instance it's feet and inches, but the other it is centimetres. And then you can track their BMI and current weight across different days and months. This will automatically update the weight over time and the BMI chart for adults. Just to preface, this tab is completely optional and no need to use it if you do not wish. If you don't wish, just please hide the tabs by clicking on the arrow and press hide sheet. This is the cleaning planner tab, and it helps you break down household chores into manageable schedules, including daily, weekly or monthly tasks, so cleaning stays consistent instead of piling up. It will show you your progress of completed cleans, what's due in the next week. So it says here we've got 6 due. So you can add to your weekly, fortnightly, monthly or even quarterly actually, and general home maintenance at the bottom here. You can add an area, the task, when it's due, when you last did it by clicking on the tab, when it's next due, and any notes. If it's completed, you can just check the button there, and it's the same all the way down. We can move into the Important Information Vault tab here. The Important Information Vault tab is a secure spot to store your details that you always seem to be searching for, including passwords, account numbers, insurance information, whatever you need to keep yourself organised in one place. So we have emergency, medical, dental, etc., whatever categories you wish. If you want to add more categories, just click this pencil button down here. It will pull up a tab and just press add another item. The account name or item of that category, the provider or organisation, the ref or policy or model number, the person in charge of that piece of information, any key dates, reminder dates and contact information, website links, where it's stored, if it needs renewal, its priority, status and any notes. You can also sort and filter any of this by clicking on these little filter buttons here and sorting by colour, by alphabetically and condition or values. The final tab is the Brain Dump tab. This is a free-form space to offload any stray thought, idea or to-do that's rattling around your head. So you can clear your mind and deal with it later. So you can add the date you captured it, what type of thought it was. Was it a task, a general thought, idea, purchase, worry, appointment? The item, your life area. Again, if you want to add more, just click the pencil button. What you need to do next to deal with it, when it's due, if it is due, priority, status, if you completed it, and any notes. And that's it for the full walkthrough of the Life Planner, from your setup tab all the way through to budgeting, habits, meals, and cleaning. If this looks like something that could simplify your life, the link to grab your own copy is in the description below. And don't forget, the free habit tracker is also down there too. So grab that even if you're not ready for the full planner yet. If you found this helpful, please drop a like and subscribe for more organisation and planning content, and I'll see you in the next one.